Welcome to RV and Travel Adventures. My name is Jesus Manuel Mena Garza. I hope you're doing fantastic wherever you're at. In this edition, I talk about the various construction methods of RVs, travel trailers, motorhomes, etc., that are on the market, and also do a little bit of forecasting of what's in store in the future according to the research that I have done. So I hope you find this video useful. This is especially useful for persons considering buying an RV. You want to have some knowledge before you go on to the dealership and understand the implications, the ramifications of buying a travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, etc. Okay? So, first of all, this is the basics. An RV is basically a box that has wheels that goes down the road and bounces around. If you hit a big bumpity bump, or go over a rock, etc., there are ramifications of what's inside your little box. So, a budget box, a cheap-ass box, is not going to do as well as a very nice box, okay? Typically, a cheap-ass box costs 10, 20, 30, 40,000 bucks. Once you get into better quality RVs with actual metal frames and metal cabinets and off-roading vehicles, those are built to a much higher standard than RVs that just go down the road. Okay, if you're just going down the road and you're not gonna hit that many bumps, these should last a while. A couple of years, and should have no issues. But if you want to have something that's gonna last a long time, you want something of a better construction. So I'm gonna be talking in this video about this box, what's inside the box, and if that box will last for several years, a long time, who knows how long, especially if you have incidents like I've had. I've had incidents where I just went over railroad tracks in my box. What's inside hasn't done too well. Okay, so I'm going to toss this over there. Oh, very nice. So let's talk about the box first of all. They're sticks and tin boxes. They're basically built like a house. You know how you go you see a construction site and they have all these wood timbers, high quality wood timbers. Just imagine the RV industry is using cheaper quality wood typically, okay? Then they have the fiberglass batting, which is insulation. Again, if you're lucky to have insulation. And then they have that corrugated fiberglass or metal exterior. So that's why they call it sticks and tin, okay? So that's your entry level. It's easier to fix typically, but it is more prone typically to delamination because, things go wrong inside there. It's easier for water intrusion in sticks and tin, apparently. Then there's fiberglass laminate. Essentially, at the manufacturer, they get a fiberglass on one side, the superstructure, the design, and the framing structure in the middle, and they put their typically foam block insulation. They put another piece of material and they laminate it, make it a little sandwich. They either use rollers or other processes to get everything to stick together. Just throw some glue on there. Hey, I'm the glue guy. So that's fiberglass laminate, typically considered an upgrade over sticks and tin. The third one on my list is aluminum. Who makes aluminum travel trailers in 2023? Well, Airstream does and Bolus does, and they're typically marketed to folks who like nice, shiny objects. Yeah, that's a shiny little RV going down the road. My main concern with aluminum, RVs is I've often gone to campsites and right there's a limb that's dangling down that the folks at the resort, state campground, county campground, private campground haven't trimmed yet, and it's dangling. And I go, man, if I brought my Airstream in there, it's going to make a big scrape. And that's not going to look too good. It's going to cost me some serious cash to get that fixed. Again, that's the main problem I find with Airstream. They're very nice. They're very well constructed, typically, and they look very nice. They look pretty sharp. My wife loves Airstream. She goes in the Airstream and goes, wow, this is nice. Mama likes. But Daddy does not like fixing stuff, so I I avoid Airstreams. Fiberglass molded. You can get a cheap fiberglass molded, like a Casita Scamp, or you get something super, super nice that's available out there. And there's a lot of Canadian brands that make fiberglass molded travel trailers, other designs, etc., etc. What's fiberglass molded? They actually create a mold that takes time and money, and you put the fiberglass in there, and fiberglass batting. You roll it down. You put the various epoxies, and if you did it right, it comes out, and you got a nice fiberglass molded RV. At least one part. Typically, they have two parts, top and bottom, and then they put a little ring around them to hold them together, and they're very, very nice. Some go the extra step and actually do the molding for the inside too, so everything's very nice. And those last a long, long time. Those are legacy RVs, travel trailers, and such, okay? Very nice. Manufacturers like Oliver, etc., etc. Very nice. Of course, folks like Casita just down the road here in Rice, Texas, they just do the outside, and the inside they put some carbon, they call it good. But they still do, last typically longer than sticks and tin and fiberglass laminate, okay? So they're very nice. I like them. In retrospect, I should have bought a Casita, spent a couple dollars, actually less, and bought a Casita, but I like the bigger RV, and I bought myself a Rockwood Mini Lite. Again, I should have done that. Suspension. We have different kinds of suspension. A lot of the great majority of RVs out there. Let me clear my throat. I'm recovering from a bit of a cough and a cold in the middle of summer. Suspension. Leaf spring is an entry-level suspension. Basically, it's a bar, and they have these vintage leaf springs that in the horse and buggy days, they used to have leaf springs also. So that's how old that technology is. And it's a very modest suspension. But it does last a long, long time. If you buy a truck that's designed to do some serious, work at the construction site, they usually have leaf springs in the back, okay? Because it's very, very durable typically, okay? Torsion bar, Torflex suspension. That's a little bit of at each end, they sort of move a little bit. And my Rockwood has Torflex. So that's an upgrade over leaf spring. By the way, I'm looking at my notes over here because I need those notes because I don't have it all memorized. I apologize for not having this script memorized. My apologies. So upgrade of that is independent. Actually, each wheel has its own mechanism, its own articulation, its own ability to go over bumps and stuff like that. Very nice. Very nice design. And when you turn the corner, you notice, hey, that's a nice smooth movement to the corner. That one up, this one down. Very nice. An upgrade of that is off-road. I was recently in Denton, Texas, checking out off-road vehicles. And wow, those off-road suspensions can take you some serious off-road. The dude over there, the sales manager, said, Jesus, let me tell you something. If your truck can go down that road, our travel trailer can go down that road too. It has that ability. In fact, it probably has better suspension than your truck, your Jeep. It seriously articulates, and of course, the construction of the whole box is, seriously several steps above typical travel trailers. So if you're planning to do some off-roading, consider buying something that's capable and won't fall apart the first time you go down that road. I considered a job working over there. I think it was Canyon de Chelly, doing some work down there. But I didn't want to go down that washboard road in my Rockwood Mini Lite. I know by the end of the road, my Rockwood Mini Lite interior, I would have to fix a lot of stuff. Just going down one railroad track in Fort Worth, I had some damage. You can imagine just going for 10, 15 minutes down a washboard road like this, what damage, that would cause. So an off-road vehicle is designed for that. It's designed to articulate a lot. And it's also the construction inside. It's not typically wood. It's typically metal. So it's all screwed and bolted together, and those staples or those screws won't come out of that cheap ass wood, okay? So that's a suspension. Insulation, entry level, insulation versus super high end insulation. Fiberglass batting is typically found in sticks and tin. Foam block is typically found in fiberglass laminate. And if you get the higher end RVs, they add an extra layer of metallic sheathing or some other materials to make things a little bit quieter and better R factor, apparently. Okay, that's according to what I've seen. Apparently, okay. Tanks. I've had a lot of experience with tanks, by the way, lately. A lot of RV manufacturers say, hey, we got a big tank for you, but it's a cheap ass tank. So you can't, don't fill it up. You're going down that road, don't fill it up. When you get there, you should fill it up. I go, that means I can't boondock. Well, that's your tough luck. But you got a big tank. So flexible plastic, that's what I got in my Rockwood Mini Nights. Basically, you can press it and the plastic tank moves. It's a cheap ass tank. An upgrade from that is rigid plastic, something really solid. You press on it, it doesn't, and it holds water and is better for going down that road, and maybe a few bumps here and there. Of course, you need the bottom supports to support that tank. A tank needs support. It just doesn't exist out in the ether or or just elevate itself. It needs to have some serious metal supports, okay? Of course, underbelly insulation. Some RVs have underbelly insulation, some don't. Back in the day, most RVs didn't even have insulation. You can see the tanks. Hey, there's my tank. Maybe if I had that today, I can actually see the tank and do some repairs to it and give it some more support, which mine needs, by the way. But now they add a layer of some corrugated plastic, and it sort of insulates and protects the old RV there. Okay. And of course, tank insulation. Some tanks, like in Lance travel trailers, wow, they actually have individual tanks, or there's a tank, and then they have another tank around it, and they blow hot air into it. Instead of the whole underbelly being hot air being blown in there and dissipating, it actually goes into a tank within it that holds the tank. Don't you think that's more efficient? That's what most manufacturers should be doing. Saving energy and actually heating what's needed to be heated. Congratulations, Lance. You got an A+ for that one. Toilets. Of course, there's cheap-ass toilets, plastic toilets. It's a weight-saving thing. It's also a budget thing. A lot of manufacturers put plastic toilets because they're cheap and they don't weigh much. And if you're having some weight constraints, I understand you have to put a plastic toilet in. Ceramic toilets are a bit heavier, okay? But if you see an expensive, gigantic Class A with a plastic toilet, say, hey, what's the problem here? I'm paying $200,000. I'm getting a plastic toilet. I should get a ceramic toilet. So the ceramic toilet, then of course you have the upgrade of that as a macerator toilet. Basically, it has a little device in there that all your whatever you dump into the toilet gets mashed up, processed. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So it makes it easier for that flow eventually to the the dump site. It's a lot easier. Okay. And of course, there's cassette toilets. If you're doing some off-road, traveling off-road, doing some serious boondocking, and you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't have time to dump your tanks. You just get your macerator. I mean, not the macerator, but your cassette toilet. You get it. You dig a big ditch in the middle of nowhere where nobody's walking, and you dig a big, deep ditch, not a shallow ditch. You dig a deep ditch, and you dump your waste, okay? And then you cover it up just like a dog would, not with your hind feet, but just cover it up real good. Make sure it's a lot of dirt over it, and then you're set, okay? In those super off-grid, super off-road conditions, you can do that. Okay. So that's a cassette toilet. Of course, there's composting toilet where you actually have a toilet that's, has a bunch of matter in there, some vegetable matter that that and when you poop in there, not pee, you pee in a separate container, you poop in that container, and then you turn it around a little bit like like a little, and then it composts it over time. Okay, so hopefully that toilet will last. Between throwing the poop out, the composted poop. It's supposed to be good poop, and you toss it out, hopefully at longer intervals. At least that's the goal. Okay. Quickly here, we're talking about RV interiors. You have different things that are taking place. You got remember the old tube TV, the SD TVs? Now they have HD TVs. Now they're getting smart TVs. Now they're getting 4K TVs inside these RVs. I like watching TV. Do you like watching TV? I like watching TV. And of course, there's different amenities. Of course, with more solar, more RV batteries. You can just use electric, induction cooktop. That'd be perfectly fine with me. And maybe very nice microwave or an upgrade of that. Okay. Propane. A lot of countries now are considering for RVs saying you can't use propane anymore. It's causing ozone damage. This summer in Texas has been so incredibly hot. Or as we say in my neck of the woods, muy caliente. It was muy caliente. So I did not appreciate the heat. It's going to be 105 today. It's mid-August. It's not good. It was the same in mid-June and July. It's not pleasant. My wife and I were considering moving to San Antonio in retirement. We decided, let's not move to San Antonio. It's too hot. Let's move somewhere where it's cool, near the mountains. Not near a bunch of trees, which can burn up, by the way. But somewhere cooler, maybe in California or in Oregon. So we decided that. What can I say? My wife's also considering moving to LA, but I said, that's expensive. But she says, let's just spend the money. So these are things that considered, things you might consider when you're looking at RV interiors, all the amenities, the different types of beds, the quality of beds. If you're going to buy an RV, sit in that bed. Take a little 10-second nap on the bed. Check out the toilet. Sit on the toilet. Check out the kitchen. Check out the cabinets. See if they're, poor quality construction. As I'm going to talk about now, cabinets. I've learned, everybody talks about the doors, solid wood doors. Very nice for these cabinets, but they don't talk about the actual construction of the cabinets. The great majority of RVs nowadays are made with particle board. They get a particle board and they cover it with what's called a plastic sticker wrap. This is crap. You could put a screw in it. Yeah. That screw comes out. You have to fill it in with wood putty because that stuff is pulverized and not very good quality. Pulverized wood covered with sticker wrap. What do you think? Are you having any issues with sticker wrapped, particle board? I have. Every time, the last couple trips, I've had to fix my cabinets because the screws got loose, and it's a pain in the ass. I hate fixing stuff. Then there's an upgrade from that is plywood. Plywood's a better option. Airstream uses plywood. Yep. The better quality RVs use plywood because they can actually hold a screw. They actually are more stable. They're a higher quality, but they're also what? They're also more expensive. And what are these RV dealerships trying to do? They're cutting costs and maximize profits. They say, hey, you got this RV? Now, good luck. So, of course, there's solid wood actual, RVs. Those are nice. You ever been inside like a Galleria? That's a nice Class B. Look at the cabinets. Smell the cabinets. Those are premium cabinets. Very nice cabinets. Then go into look at the sides of like a Rockwood Mini Light or something like that. Then you say, I like the Galleria, but that's more expensive. It's obviously going to be what? It's going to be more expensive. Maple, oak, and all these different woods are very expensive. And of course, some manufacturers make a fiberglass molded RV. They also do the fiberglass molded cabinets. Very nice, very high quality. Those should last a long, long time. A plus. And an upgrade from that is metal cabinets, typical of those that do off-roading, because they're going to go down those roads. They're going to be bouncing and jouncing about all over the place, and those cabinets stay, together because they're bolted, welded, screwed together. They're not, stapled together. One piece of wood here, one piece of wood here, and they're stapled. That's what a lot of manufacturers do. Not very good. So, particle board, plywood, solid wood, real wood, fiberglass, and metal. Those are the kinds of cabinets. And if you're unfortunate, like me, to have particle board sticker wrap cabinets, I empathize with you, definitely. Hinges and latches. Some manufacturers have these really simple little latches, but some have very complex, high quality, well-built latches. Look for latches when you go in the RV. Just look at those latches. Go, oh, that's a pretty simple latch. I was looking at a Gemini Compass by Thor, a very nice motorhome, small motorhome, and I noticed the entry-level version of it, cabinet-wise, has simple hinges, but then the upgrade has very nice, hinges. Several hinges, not just one hinge, but several hinges, and instead of, going sideways, it actually plopped up. So there's differentiation even within a brand like Thor, Gemini, Compass. I would get the upgraded, cabinets if I bought that one myself. Construction. I'm going to talk about construction. Here's some basics of construction. Staples. Again, connecting one piece of wood to another piece of wood with a staple. Hey, we got one side of the staple on one side, another side on the other side. That is not good, but it's cheap. And you get what you pay for, okay? Then there's nails and screws, and of course, you want those all glued together very nicely, okay? And you can add some supports, some, metal supports. That's an upgrade from there. So look at the quality of construction. I noticed on one of my cabinets that the drawer went out and had support on the left side, but didn't have any support on the right side. Basically was floating in air on the right side. So not surprisingly, when it went down the road and I hit a little bit of a railroad track, it broke off and I had to fix it. I understand, as an owner of a Rockwood Mini Light, that if I just happened to be driving on the road and, you didn't focus and hit another little bump in the road, I know my cabinets are going to be in need of repair. Those are hard facts because I do not have that quality of an RV. I have this quality of an RV, and those, it's the hard facts. That's my reality. It's going to be like that because these are not metal structures. These are just cheap ass, what's that word? Particle board with sticker wrap cabinets. Let's talk about solar. Solar is a big thing now, especially for the future. A lot of people are going to be getting rid of propane. They're going to have more solar, more batteries, more charging options. So there's two types of charge controllers typically now in the market in 2023. It's PWM pulse width modulated. That's a cheap, very cheap charge controller, typically produced by Go Power and stuff like that. They make these cheap. They only probably cost them, the manufacturer of these RVs, maybe $20-25. We'll toss that in there. It's cheap. It's good. It doesn't charge all the way, but it's good. It charges most of the way. As a consumer, just shut up and just take it. We just, it's not high quality stuff. And, because it's not designed, a pulse width modulated PWM Go Power charge controller is a piece of crap. And it's not designed to optimize your batteries and your potential for, off-grid and boondocking, okay? An upgrade from there is MPPT, multiple point power tracking. I hope I got that right. Did I get it right? MPPT, and those cost a bit more. Not a lot more, a bit more. And they are more efficient. They charge a battery quicker and more efficiently and closer to 100%, okay? Do you want 100% battery charge or do you want 80%? You tell me, okay? You tell me. Batteries, back in the day, it was only flooded lead acid batteries. People used to brag about, I got two 6 volts these gigantic batteries that weigh 2 tons each, and I, connected them together, and I got a 12 volt, and it works very nicely. I get 100 amp hours combined. Now you can buy a small lithium battery at a quarter of the weight of those 2 batteries, and you get 100 amp hours. Prices of lithium have gone down and down and down. Typically most lithium batteries are made in China. There are some assemblers like Lithionics that buy Chinese batteries and reconfigure them and toss those little batteries in their little box and put a big sign that says Lithionics. But most batteries that are used today are made in China. But there's more and more manufacturers coming out and newer technologies, not just lithium batteries, but newer technologies coming out that are very nice. Sodium batteries, the list goes on and on and on. Okay. So flooded lead acid, then you get an upgrade from there. Sealed battery like an AGM, absorbed glass mat, and an upgrade of that is lithium, which is lighter, can be charged to 100%, then dropped to 0, and then up to 100%. Typically 5,000 cycles, sometimes only 2,000 cycles, sometimes more cycles, but then it only drops 20% to only 80% of capacity. Still a very good deal. I have 2 lithium batteries, courtesy of the folks at AO Lithium. Thank you very much, AO Lithium. And they've had 0 problems. High quality batteries. Again, flooded batteries, you only can use typically 40, 50% of the, here's 100%. You only can drop it down 40, 50%. Then you have to charge it again, and then you can use it. So if you have a 100 amp hour flooded or AGM battery, you got 100 amp hours. You only can use 40 amp hours of it. If you buy a 100 amp hour lithium battery, you can use 100 amp hours of it. Which one would you prefer over the long run? It's all a matter of what your needs are. If you're just going to resorts and parking it somewhere, you don't need any. You can put a little cheap ass battery in there because you're always connected to power, 50 amp, 30 amp. No, don't even worry about it. But if you're going off grid, going to places that, those spots, those resorts, those farm sites, those wineries that let you park on the side, hey, you need a little bit of battery juice for at least a couple of days, to help you out with a little bit of solar, of course, and a nice MPPT charge controller. So there's solar panels out there. There's 100, amp watt, 200 watt, 400 watt. There's different configurations of solar panels. The more solar panels you can put on your roof, the better. It's essentially you got a big scoop, more solar panels, big scoop. All that energy goes really quick. If you have a small scoop, you only can get a little bit of energy for your batteries. The bigger the scoop, the quicker your batteries is going to get charged. If you have a lot of more panels, más bueno, as we say in Spanish, mucho mejor, much better. Okay, so whatever rooftop real estate you have, fill it with solar. That's always a good use of that space. It's just sitting up there. You're not going on the roof very much other than to check your seals once in a while, and et cetera, et cetera. So get the maximum solar panels that you can get, and do it, of course, efficiently and wired appropriately. Serial, parallel, all that sort of stuff like that. My final point is the future of RVing. Let me look at my notes here. EV RVs. There are a lot of manufacturers of trucks, semis, SUVs out there. Rivian has come out with an SUV and a truck. My niece and nephew just bought one truck and an SUV. Very nice for them. And of course, my other daughter, just bought a Tesla. And some folks out there have a Tesla Cybertruck on order. And of course, Tesla also makes this gigantic semi. That would be perfect for a Class A. Just chop it off, fill in the rest with a nice box, as I talked about earlier. And you can make a very nice EV RV. What do you think of the EV RV in future? Are you one of those persons that say, I don't want you to infringe my freedoms. I enjoy polluting the environment. I enjoy global warming. I love it. I love the fact that I can't go outside and cycle in the middle of the day or go for a walk because it's 110, 120 degrees. It's only going to get worse, but I love it. But some of us are more conscious of the reality and say, hey, we have got to do our little bit and protect our environment to the best of our ability. It's a little bit late into the game because all these companies said, hey, there's no such thing as global warming. And they bought off the politicians. There's no issues with global warming, especially in Texas and Oklahoma, Louisiana. The list goes on and on and on. So batteries and motors incorporated in travel trailers. You know, a lot of folks said, hey, that my Ford F-150 Lightning, I went down the road and only got 100 miles with that travel trailer behind me. It typically gets 250, 300. Well, if that travel trailer, fifth wheel, had its own motors, it had its own batteries, it had a bunch of solar on the top, and was nicely charged up, you can go those 300 miles. No problem, because the truck had its motors and energy, and the RV had its motors and energy. That is the future. Very nice, very nice. And of course, there's going to be a lot more roadside and campsite charging. You ever go to those love stations? They have that truck, charging areas. Those would be very nice for Class A's, EVs, something like that. EV charging. You can charge your EV. You can charge your travel trailer and truck or SUV or your Class A, B, C. Very nice. Very nice. The future, sorry about that. The future looks fantastic, I think, okay? And there's going to be more solar options, more solar technology. It's an evolving technology. There's all kinds of different changes and coming up in the design of batteries, panels, charge controllers, motors. The list goes on and on and on. This has been Jesus Manuel Garza. Hope you enjoyed this video. These opinions are my own. I did my own research. What do you think? Leave your kind and super friendly and super professional comments below abajo. Muchos gracias. Muchas gracias a todos a ustedes. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Again, muchísimos gracias. And don't forget to ring the bell for future notificaciones, for future notifications. Again, gracias. From Fort Worth, Texas, it's 105 degrees outside. Wish I can go out for a bike ride. Wish I can go for a walk. But this 71-year-old dude is afraid he's going to collapse on the side of the road. And people are going to pass by. What's that dude doing there? Taking a nap or what? But, the harsh reality, it's getting hotter. It's getting warmer. We're having crazier weather in this world of ours. And we should consider the future and to be more efficient with our vehicles. More EVs, more RV EVs. That would be nice. What do you think? Again, leave your kind and friendly comments below abajo. From Fort Worth, Texas, gracias. Adios. Bye-bye.